Here.
Gary,
Here.
McMullen,
Here.
Reed, Mayor Bedine.
Here. Any changes to the agenda?
Mayor, I do not have a resolution for the intergovernmental agreement available for the council tonight, so I'm going to suggest that we just have it as a discussion only and consider approval at the next meeting.
Should be July 11th,
If you do a special meeting.
unless we reschedule a special. Okay, so we'll open up for public comment right now. If you have anything for council, you're welcome to come forward, and you have 3 minutes.
Thank you. I appreciate your time tonight. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Nick McGurk. I live at 1314 East Main Street here in Streator. Lifelong Streator resident, and also the assistant principal and athletic director at Streator High School. On April 4th, first of all, before we do anything, I only have 3 minutes. I'd like to compliment the City Council on improving the Lady Bulldog Way street. That was very classy, and having 2 daughters that were female athletes and recognizing that for future athletes to come is very special. We appreciate that. I'm here tonight to talk about the possibility of an agreement between the city and Streator High School as far as the James Street, turning it into a soccer complex. On April 4th, Streator High School approached the city about this prospect. We were interested in the North Field. We had met informally, Coach Huey, who is here tonight, and I and City Manager Kleiman and Jeremy Palm met, and we had a great discussion, and they had brought up the idea of possibly doing 2 soccer fields, which, yeah, that was more than we were looking at, but again, a lot more to take on, so to speak. Then we were invited to the Parks Board. That concept to look into it was unanimously voted on by the Parks Board as a recommendation to the City Council to go further into this project. On May 24th, the parties from the high school and parties from the city did a walkthrough at James Street, looking at the functionality, the playability, the safety concerns, so on and so forth, functionality of the field itself. And a list was made of items that needed to be done to convert both fields into playable, safe soccer fields. That was shared with all parties. There were no objections to any of those items on the list. Potential benefits of this happening. Standalone soccer field with lights means no more JV games being shortened due to light. Ability to improve both the softball and baseball fields at SHS due to no shared traffic. Get positive traffic on the underutilized James Street facility at least 6 months out of the year. SHS is willing to do its part. We have over $60,000 worth of soccer infrastructure items to install immediately. This includes a 16x9 solar-powered scoreboard, weather shelters for the players, bleachers, goals, etc. In turn, we have roughly $60,000 of federal grant money to add next year. We have already gotten quotes from Fakin on excavation of the baseball field and turf revitalization quote coming in a total of $30,000. We anticipate to take that cost on. We are willing to cut all the grass, except for the dog park. In order to this, we ask that you partner with SHS. We are more than willing to do our part, but we are not willing to relitigate the debacle of the James Street situation from 15 years ago. This is when the city attempted to turn an unfinished facility over to multiple youth organizations as well as SHS. There are some items that we have asked the city to fix due to disrepair and lack of maintenance. The irrigation system, 7 light bulbs, and turning the cans toward making a soccer field. Now, the irrigation system, there's some confusion, I believe, about the pump. We don't necessarily have to have a pump put in there. We just want spinning heads with water in order to actually put our money into fertilization and seeding. It makes no sense to have it without working heads out there. SHS has offered to assist with manpower on removing the fences to make this happen. And also, soccer is by far the most popular sport in Streator. The time to move on this is now. The only ones to lose by not getting this done together is the kids of Streator. We thank you for your consideration. Have a great night. I have to leave. By the way, we have a meeting tonight, and I will have to leave. tonight very soon. Thank you for your time.
Thank you. Okay, anyone else with public comment for tonight? Seeing none, we'll go,
Jared,
oh, you
just
do,
one point.
okay, find it.
Just want to kind of dovetail off of, I'm Steve Roshi, Streator High School board president. Just want to dovetail off of that a little bit, that the board is behind it. We're already going to approve of buying equipment they have stored down there, that manpower and all that. So I just want you guys to know that the board is behind all this too. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Any other public comment? Okay, we'll go on to item 1. So discussion on the James Street Recreation area. We had it on our agenda to vote in case we had this agreement ready to go, but I know we just got hot off the press with some changes that were made over the past couple days. And I think the only thing that maybe there's confusion on is that irrigation system and what we understand versus what you're looking for on that one.
Well,
Let you discuss.
I have been negotiating with the school superintendent, Scott Cameron, and I believe Mr. Cameron supports the document that's before you tonight. It does not include provisions where the city will cover the costs of irrigation system improvements. The comments made by Mr. McGurk tonight, where he appears to be representing the school district, is somewhat confusing to me because I am negotiating this contract with the school superintendent, and we did hash that issue out, and I think it's resolved in this contract. So unless I'm mistaken, I think it's Mr. Cameron's role here to let us know how we're mistaken. But the agreement tonight has the district covering the costs associated with making the field playable for soccer, whether or not they're irrigated. The city is agreeing to erect a gate to keep traffic from the north field that loops, the driveway that loops around that field. That gate would be located just north of, or just outside of the dog park. There's a little turnaround area near the dog park. And the gist of the agreement is essentially turn over the bulk of the park to the school district for its use for soccer during much of the year, with the exception of the 3 small ball fields where the city will continue to make those fields available for softball and t-ball play. And I wanted to avoid having scheduling conflicts where the city would schedule events in the park at the same time the school district may or may not be scheduling events. So the school district would have primary control over the park, including the 3 small ball fields for much of the year. The city will continue to be responsible for making this, the fields playable for the 3 small fields. The school district won't have any responsibility in that regard, with the exception of just mowing the grass. Since you're already going to have mowers out there anyways, I wanted to avoid a situation where you mow on this side of the sidewalk and we mow on that. The city will continue to maintain though the dog park area, because that's strictly outside of their domain. Which means that the school district would have the right during much of the year to even utilize the 3 small ball fields if they need to for their own practice purposes, kicking a ball around and that. To the extent the community, a community group wants to use the 3 fields outside of the spring and summer months that's laid out here in the contract, they will just need to coordinate with the high school. So if they have a complaint over their potential use, it would be a complaint that would need to be taken to the school board as opposed to the city council. So, trying to work with the school district, and I think we have a good agreement here. We didn't budget any money for any significant park improvement, and so it's difficult for us to be looking at the kinds of expenses that was mentioned earlier today. So there are some issues with the irrigation system that has we haven't really been irrigating for years out there, and so there's some routine maintenance issues. So to the extent that the school district needs to irrigate the fields, they're probably gonna have to change the layout of the lines anyways, because the lines were installed for baseball and football, and not necessarily for soccer. The dimensions and the layout of the fields are gonna be different, so where you water will likely be different. And so we have no objection to reconfiguring the irrigation system. There is no pump currently on that system. It's being charged simply by whatever water pressure is in the neighborhood. And to the extent that they find that they need to add additional water pressure, they're free to make that change under this contract. It just needs to be reviewed and approved by the city engineer. 10-year contract. So why don't you review it? If you have any questions, you can contact me after the meeting and kind of go up and go over it.
I
But
know
I
that
think it's a
we're,
pretty good agreement.
Our first scheduled game or need for it's August 4th, so I know we're burning time. So I don't constantly wanna, I know you wanna spend time to look at this, since it just we just got it
Just finished it this afternoon.
this afternoon, so we haven't really had a chance to sit here and go through it. So I hate to throw that at you to vote on it tonight. So I guess my thing is, do I do a special meeting or just go ahead kind of consensus of we're in favor of the project, we just need to nail the details out, because I want to keep us moving.
I'd like to have a couple days to look it all over, go through it.
Okay, do we want to do a special meeting? Another special meeting? Let's try to get this nailed down, or do our July 11th? Today is the 27th.
Nick, do you have a drop dead date when you need to actually start working on these fields?
Pardon me?
Do you have like a drop dead date of when you need to be working on these fields, getting ready for the season?
What, a month ago?
Probably 2 months ago, right? 3 months
To be
ago.
quite honest with you, we would, again, that's why we approached back in April. We would love to have had water going on that already. We're prepared to call Faken at the drop of a dime and have them remove the baseball field. We are prepared to call the turf company and have them spray and fertilize and seed, because if you go out there and look at the turf itself right now, again, we haven't been irrigating for years. So when it actually does turn green, it's mostly weeds. So there's very little grass on there right now. If we were prepared that if we cannot play this fall, we can convert back at our field again like we normally do, and then try to get it ready for the grill season in the spring. We will try like crazy to get this ready for the fall. We would love to have our boys playing on this fall. If we can't do it safely, we won't, but we are committed to making this happen long term.
Special meeting? What's your? After 5. Last Thursday.
Well, I didn't want you folks to feel rushed into approving agreement. I just can't. That's why. But if, if you want to approve it, it's on your agenda.
I know Bruce already wanted to take a couple days to look at it, so I didn't, let's do that, but let's set up a special meeting and go. We need 48 hours notice to do that. You do Friday. Yeah. Friday at 5, kick off the weekend.
I won't be there.
Oh, yeah, because
I'll be out for 5 days.
Just need to have another good deputy clerk.
Julie.
Julie, she's overloaded right now with her business.
You just need someone to sit in as a deputy
Well,
clerk.
you gotta get the, I can't, but if you're gonna have it Friday,
we can do, we're gonna be approaching 4th of July weekend, and I know we're gonna get crazy with vacations and everything too. Thursday, 5:30, Thursday after 6.
Oh, this Thursday?
Yeah, we do this Thursday. Okay. So, does Thursday at 5 work? 5:30? Give us one.
48 hours for the notice.
What time?
You have to.
T-ball makers.
Still get them out of the lines.
I think that's the, there's another meeting for me that night.
Is there anything that's gonna change in the next few days? Probably not.
I don't think so. Late this afternoon, I got the insurance information from the school district. So that was the last holdup issue that I'm aware of. We had some other financial things that went back and forth that talked to Mr. Kirk about. But the contract that I have presented to you is the contract that I think I have the agreement with Mr. Cameron and that he's prepared to recommend to his board.
We would have to close tonight too because
Right.
Yeah. Well, I'm good Friday at 5.
Either day.
All right, let's go Friday.
I have a doctor appointment Thursday afternoon. But I think, available at 5 on Thursday, if you need me.
So we're doing Friday from.
we can't get
All right, Friday at 5.
Yeah, you can't
Give us
do
time to
48
prepare
hours,
this.
unless you do it right now.
Right.
Yeah. Okay, any, that will go to item 2. Resolution 2023-32, authorizing approval of proposal for a purchase of 8 Flock safety brand automated license plate reader cameras for the Streator Police Department. Get a motion and a second.
Second.
Okay, Tim and then Matt with a second. And discussion.
Yeah, I got a question. On the cameras, if they're pointed, say you have one camera on the road pointing east, does it read cameras inbound and outbound
Yes,
both?
it's 2 lanes of traffic, so on 2-lane roadways, yes, it'll read both east and westbound traffic.
Okay. I'm all in favor of the 8. I'd like to purchase another 8.
I would too. What's nice is through the conversations we've had with Flock is Livingston County and Reddick Township purchasing more cameras and they're hitting the south side of the street. Basically, it's going to get every entryway into town from the south, 23 off 12th Street to Illinois Street, out of 3rd Street. So all we have to do right now is take care of north, east, and west. In doing that, I reached out to Flock, we would strategically come out with ideas to not only hit our main roadways, 18 and 23, but also some township roadways that are better known entry and exits out of town. People trying to get that focus on the main roads, showing off 23. With the 8 cameras that we're requesting, we'll have a pretty good start. If we catch a windfall in the future, some extra money to drug fund, then we can start looking at purchasing more because unfortunately these are not cheap, $2,000 a year per camera. That's up from $2,500 2 years ago.
Any other questions or comments? Clerk call the roll, please.
Brittany?
Yeah, there's a motion by Tim, second by Matt.
Connor?
Aye.
Gary?
Aye.
McMullen?
Aye.
Mayor Beeline?
Aye. Item 3 is a motion to temporarily authorize the planning commission to serve as the zoning board of appeals. Can I get a motion and second, please? Okay, Tim, and then Bruce with the seconds. Any discussion? Jeremy, you want to mention something there?
We have a variance request in our zoning board of appeals. We've had several members either leave town or pass away, so they don't have a quorum currently. So we've done this in the past where the planning commission can temporarily act as the zoning board of appeals until the mayor can appoint some new members.
Any other questions or discussion? All right, clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Reed, aye.
Aye. Item 4 is city official comments.
I got another complaint.
Okay.
The fountain in the park,
Yeah.
I took my dog for a walk visiting, and it's pretty embarrassing. I feel like we need to figure something out with that. And the water was dribbling over, water's green, algae, it just looks like shit. Sorry, kids.
So
It looks
we
bad.
discussed this actually, trying to find some full safe outside. Should I do the scrolls in there?
Well, I think you could put jets in there that would keep the water moving. Something.
Maybe something. There's
Just dribble.
stairs.
That's all.
Okay. All right, Tim, do you have anything? All right, well, thank you guys for coming tonight. Sorry to push you off another couple of days. I just want to make sure that we understand what we're going to agree to for those that are here for the James Street topic. And with that, I will request a motion and second to adjourn.
Second.
Okay, Tim with the motion, Matt with the second. Clerk, call the roll, please.
Connor,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
McMullen,
Aye.
Mayor Reed, aye.
Aye. Meeting adjourned.